of them up here. We have a summary of all our formulas that we've used for our prisms, our cylinders, our cones, our pyramids. And then these are your basic area formulas because you have to use them within our prisms and our cylinders and stuff. Okay, so hopefully with these, we'll be able to get through some of these problems on the review that I want to try to go through today. And then that gives you examples for the quiz. Plus, I'll specifically talk about problems on the quiz. Your quiz had 6 problems, okay? I emailed it as an attachment this morning. Some of you may have checked My School Works like you're supposed to, and some may not, but it's there. All right, let me see. Too personal one. All right, we're trying to get Monica straight. So, all right, on here, you'll see that the problems that we're going to be working on are page 453 and 454. Those are the green pages at the end of the chapter. We're going to skip around some. I don't even know if we'll do all of them that I have listed up here, but I want to make sure we hit at least one of every type that you have on the quiz, so that's why I kind of put these up here, okay? But the thing is, on here, on the quiz, I gave you one picture, and for that one picture, you're finding all 3. The lateral area, surface area, and volume, okay? In here, they just had you do like find volume of this one. And then the next question was find surface area. So they didn't do them all together. So even though it looks like it's more problems, it's not really, because on your quiz, we have you doing 3 things for one picture. So looking at this, for number 9, number 10, on those, it says find the surface area and the volume. So I've already put my SA and V, surface area and volume, and what I'm looking for on here. And it says, for number 9, surface area and volume of a 13-inch tall rectangular prism with an 8-inch by 22-inch base. So it's a rectangular prism. So remember, rectangular prisms kind of look like this, okay? So it says it's 13 inches tall. Now I'm going to try to kind of sketch a little picture here. Don't judge me, okay? So you have your 3-dimensional figure, okay? It says it's 13 inches tall, and the bottom is like 22 by 8 or something like that, okay? So you have your base is the rectangle that it's sitting on, which was an 8 by 22, and then your height was 13. Okay, she gave me the wrong email before, so she still didn't get it. All right, so I'll try to send it one more time, but we'll get this. Surface area. So surface area says you take the perimeter of the base times the height. Now remember, perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. We did that like last Wednesday. Okay, perimeter of the rectangle is 2 times the length times 2 times the width. So when I go to do this, I'm going to have my perimeter of the base, which is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. That's the dimensions of your base. And then it's multiplied by the height of the prism, the 13. So that's what we're going to work out for surface area for number 9. Now it wants the volume as well. Volume is the area of the base times the height. So area of a rectangle, remember, is length times width. So I just have 22 times 8 times the 13. So that's what you're working out for number 9. So y'all have your little calculators, work those out. I'm going to try one more time because she sent me the wrong email. And then after that, I'm done. All right, so one more time. Let's try this. Let me edit. 6, 5. Okay. Let's send it again. Okay. All right, so are y'all getting your answers? What'd you get for the surface area? Anybody?
I got 936.
Anybody agree with him, 936?
Yeah.
Okay, because you take 44 plus 16, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then times 13. 708. Wait a minute. What did we forget? Because they wanted the total surface area, didn't it? Total surface area is this one, which is your lateral area plus 2 times the area of the base. So we got to add on the 22 times 8 on the bottom. So now let's try. 34 plus 16. Okay, so what are you getting when you add them all together? I got 1,132. Y'all agree with that one? Because remember, it wanted the total surface area. So the total surface area is the lateral area, the area of these sides that are standing up and down, going around, plus the area of the 2 bases, the 2 rectangles that are on the top and the bottom. So I had to do my lateral area, which was the perimeter of the base times the height, plus, because I was finding surface area, 2 times the area of the base, 2 times the length and width of the bottom, and add it all together. So I got 1,132 square inches. Okay, remember to put units on your answers. All right, now for volume, volume was the area of the base, which was just the rectangle, length times width times the height. So you have 22 times 8, which is 176, and then 176 times 13.
I got 2,288.
288 inches cubed. Volume is in cubic units because you multiplied 3 dimensions, length, width, and height. Area is in square units. You're just multiplying the length and the width. Okay? Volume, cubic units, area, square units. Okay? So that was number 9. Okay, for number 10, it says, find the surface area and volume of a right circular cylinder with a diameter of 8 centimeters and a height of 20. So we're talking about a cylinder. So remember, the cylinder has the circle base on top and bottom. Okay, so it looks like this. And we're finding both the surface area and the volume again. So remember, your surface area is the lateral area, the distance around the sides that's standing up and down between the two circles, and the plus the two bases, the two circles on each end. So when we go to do our surface area, you'll notice on here all of our formulas have R, which stand for radius. But they didn't give us the radius, they gave us the diameter. So you need to remember that the diameter is equal to 2 radii, 2 of the radius, or the radius is half of the diameter. So they told you in number 10 that the diameter was 8, so that means my radius will equal 4. Okay, it's going to be half of it. So you have to make sure you figure that out first. Okay. So when we go to try this again, for cylinders, my surface area is my lateral area, so the 2 pi RH, and then added to the area of the two circles, the top and the bottom. So when I go to do this, I'm going to have 2 times pi times my radius, which we said had to be 4. If the diameter is 8, the radius is half of it, times my height, which it said the cylinder was how tall? 20, is that right? 20? Plus 2 times pi times the radius squared. I have my lateral area going around the sides, and then I have my circles, the top and the bottom. Okay, so when I go to do that, this is what we're working with. All right. We simplify what we can. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 20 is 160. So I have 160 pi for the lateral area, the first part. Then for the area of my two circles, I have 2 times pi times the radius squared. 4 squared is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. And then I add my lateral area and my surface area together. So I get 192 pi, and then I believe it was centimeters on this one, so it's 192 pi centimeters squared. Because remember, most of the time when we were dealing with pi, we just leave pi in our answer. We don't try to put in 3.14 or anything. We just leave it. Okay? Now, for my volume is my length times my width times my height. Or for this one, it's your volume is the area of the base times the height. For all of them, area, base times height. But the area of my base is a circle, right? And the base is a circle. Okay? Okay, so I have pi times my radius squared, which was 4 squared, times my height of my cylinder, which was 20. So 4 squared is 16, so I have 16 times 20. So I have 320 pi centimeters cubed. If it's volume, it's in cubed units. Okay. Now, everybody got number 9, number 10, yes or no? We good? Okay. Number 11. Number 11 says, find the length of each edge of a cube whose surface area is 1176 feet squared. Okay. So a cube, remember, oops, I lost my bottle. A cube, remember, looks like this, right? Yes? Cube looks like this. So all the sides are the same. So it wants to know the length of one of the edges. All of them are the same. So to find the surface area, you have 6 congruent squares, 6 squares that are the same side. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times the area of the square, which is s squared. So my surface area formula for a cube is 6 times the edge squared, or the side squared. Now, I'm trying to find the side, but I know the surface area was 1176. I believe I wrote that down correctly. For number 11? Yep. So, and then you work backwards, you're trying to find S. So the opposite of multiplication, we divide. So we divide by 6 on each side, so 1176 divided by 6. I get 196 is equal to S squared. Now the opposite of something being squared is taking the square root. And I hit the wrong button, I hit cube root, so it messed me up. Which I think it's 14, yeah. So 14 whatever is the length of a side, and I think it was in, what was it, inches, feet. So 14 feet is the length of one side. Okay, I wanted to do one where we did work backwards. Now, I don't think I gave you one on the quiz where you have to work backwards, okay? But I wanted you to know that you can work backwards just like on other stuff that we've done, okay? We'll get 14 and 15 real quick. We'll get them set up and you can work on solving them. And I'll go check on what's her issue where she can't get logged on again. Okay, so on 14, we're talking about a cube. Remember, we just talked about the cube. All the sides in a cube are the same. So to find the surface area of the cube, I just gave you the formula right here. It's 6 times the side squared. So it's going to be 6 times the cube picture that they give you is right here. They're 9 inches. So it's 6 times 9 squared. And then its volume, remember, is the area of the base times the height. So to find the area of a square, you take the side times itself, and then you multiply it by the height, which is also the same thing. So volume is equal to the side cubed, or 9 cubed. Okay? That's for 14 and 15. Okay, number 16. It says find the volume of the right triangular prism. Okay, volume for a triangular prism. Volume for any prism we just had over here was the area of the base times the height. But our shape, our base is a triangle. So to find the area of a triangle, it's 1/2 times the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. So you have to look closely in there and figure out what is the base of the triangle and the height of the triangle. It looks like the base of the triangle on the end is 20. And it looks like the height of the triangle, they drew that little line out there. Looks like it's 9.8. So I have 1/2 times 20 times 9.8. That's my area of my triangle base. And then the height of the triangular prism is the side that connects the two triangles together. So even though it's called the height, doesn't necessarily mean in the picture it's going to be going up and down. Okay? The height connects the two triangles together. So my height is this measurement that's going across here between the two triangles. Your height connects your two bases. So it is 40 centimeters. So that's your formula for number 16. So solve those 3 real quick and I'll check your answers. I'll be right back. I'm going to just run my phone to Mr. Pelham so he can figure out what she's talking about. Okay? Can I trust y'all to work? Yeah, I'm down. I'll be right back.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody got all their answers?
That was fast.
I do.
You did?
I got mine.
Yep.
You got yours? Okay, what was our surface area of the cube? That's this first one here. Number 14.
I got 486.
486, and it was inches, so it's inches squared.
Oh, yep. I got that.
And then our volume, 9 cubed, 9 times 9 times 9 is
729.
inches cubed. Remember, area is square units, volume is cubic units.
Okay.
Okay. Now, for 16, you had to do a little bit more work up there. Okay, because you have 1/2 times 20 times 9.8. Times 40. So what'd y'all get for that one?
I got 3920.
3,920, and on this one there's centimeters, and it was volume, so it's centimeters cubed. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Now, for surface area, and this is why I didn't leave you to do this one on your own, for surface area, it's a little bit more complicated because you got to find the lateral area first, which is the perimeter of the base times the height. And then you have to find the surface area, which is plus the area of the two bases. Now, for your lateral area on a triangular prism, another way that you can think about it is you got the two triangles on the end, and then the other three faces that connect the triangles together are what shape? What shape is this? On your picture,
A square.
well, this one's a square, but on your picture, the shape that's facing you is a what?
A pyramid? No, a rectangle.
A rectangle. So the way you can do this is you can find the area of each rectangle is your lateral area, and then add the two triangles on the end. Okay? But sometimes that's easier than trying to figure out the perimeter of the whole triangle. Or you can do the perimeter of the triangle. If you look closely, this bottom side it says is how big on the triangle?
Is
20. Everybody see 20?
Yeah.
And then on this side over here, this back side slanting up and down is 14. And now the two triangles on each end are the same size. So if you look on the other end, the front end that's slanted is 16. So your perimeter of your triangle is 16 plus 14 plus 20 times your height of the whole thing, which is 40. And then the area of the two triangles on the end is 1/2 times the base times the height. So your formula for your surface area, you have the perimeter of the triangle times the height. That's your lateral area. That's the three rectangles going around. Then you add the two triangles areas on the end to get your total surface area. So this is what we got to work out here. If we add that together, that's 50. And see if you get what I got. (2,196 centimeters squared). Now, number 18 and 19 deal with a cone. Our cone, we had set formulas for a cone. You have them on your worksheet that you can look at. Plus, I had them over there on the board. Okay, for a cone, you take, for the surface area, you take the lateral area, which looks like kind of like an orange slice, remember when I unrolled it? Because mine was orange. Plus, and then for the surface area, you take that lateral area and add the circle area for the base. So our formula for the lateral area was pi times the radius times the slant height. Now remember, your slant height is the height going up the slanted side of the cone. Now if you look closely in this picture, did they give you the slant height or did they give you the height inside?
The height inside.
They gave you the height inside. And they also gave you the radius. So remember on our cones worksheet, when we did that the other day, on all of those, we had to use our Pythagorean theorem to find our missing side. So for number 18, we have r squared. Here, I'm going to do it over here. Okay, we have r squared plus h squared equals l squared. Our radius that it gave us in the picture was what?
3. I mean 5. I'll look up the wrong thing.
The radius down there at the bottom is 5, so I have 5 squared plus the height, which was 12.
12.
And I'm looking for my slant height. So 25 plus 144 equals my slant height. 25 plus 144 is 169. Square root of 169, my slant height is equal to 13. So for my formula, I use pi times the radius times the slant height. So pi times 5 times 13. That's my area, my lateral area, the area of the orange slice part. Okay, now I gotta do the area of the circle part on the bottom. It's pi times the radius, which was 5 squared. So this is what we're working out. Okay, we have the lateral area plus the area of the circle added together for the total surface. So 5 times 13 is 65. 5 squared is 25. 65 plus 25 is 90. But it still has pi on there. And then our units of measure were feet. So it's 90 pi feet squared. Now your volume for the cone is similar to the volume for a cylinder, okay? The volume for the cylinder was pi r squared h, the area of the circle times the height, okay? So when I go to do the volume of a cone, it's the same thing, except it narrows in to the one single vertex. So it's 1/3 times pi times the radius squared times the h, which it uses the actual height of the cone that was inside, which was the 12. And then we multiply that out. Remember to still keep pi on your answer, and you're doing volume, so it's cubed. Okay. We'll skip 20 and 21 for right now because you don't have one like that on the quiz. I do want to look at the picture that I gave you for 22 and 23. So flip your page. We won't worry about 20 and 21. I didn't do one like that on the quiz. We'll come back to those later. Okay. But if you look at this picture, now we're not really going to do 22 and 23 right now, but I want to use this picture to remind you about some things. Okay. This is called a regular octahedron. Octa, the prefix oct, OCT, is how many?
8.
No. Hex is 6. Oct is An octagon has
8 sides.
8, okay? Okay, so it's an octahedron, so it's 8 sides. If you look closely at your picture, you have 8 triangle faces that are on the top half, and 4 triangle faces on the top half, and 4 triangle faces on the bottom half, which give you what? 8 faces, right? So I'm just talking to you about the number of faces and stuff. Okay, so we're not really doing any more of those problems. We're just talking about number of faces and stuff on that picture. Okay, so remember, a face is a side. So we said this one has 8 faces because there's 8 triangles that make up the octahedron. Okay, it's got 8 triangle faces on there. Okay, now if I'm talking about a vertex, what is a vertex? The vertex is a point, right? The vertex is a point. So it's the corners. So this is the top half of my octahedron. So I have one corner here, the one corner at the bottom where the sides meet, and then how many around the sides? There's 4 going around the middle, right? You have the 4 going around the middle, and then the top and the bottom. So there are 6 vertices. Okay. And then for an edge is the line, okay? The sharp lines that go down the sides. So edges are just this right here where 2 faces meet. Okay, so this is an edge, this is an edge, this is an edge, and this is an edge. So how many edges do I have on my top part?
4.
4. So how many will be on the bottom part?
4.
4.
Because it's the same thing, it's just turned upside down, right? But then you have where the top and bottom come together, so you also have these that go around where they meet. So you have another 4. So how many are there total?
12.
12. Now remember, when we're talking about these, we had a formula in section 9.1. It was named after a dude. Do you remember?
Euler's.
Euler's formula. Very good. Okay, so your Euler's formula used your faces, your vertices, and your edges. So question number 1 on the quiz is for an octahedron. It's taking the faces, the vertices, and the edges and plugging them into Euler's formula. You've got Euler's formula in your book, so you can look it up. It's right there. It's on your notes handout that I gave you all in your folder as well. So you just take these numbers, plug them into the formula, and get your answer. So that's all you have to do on number 1 on the quiz. Okay? So that part pretty easy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now number 2 deals with a net. A net is what you get when you take the sides of the 3-dimensional figure and you lay them out flat. Okay? So we had different shape ones. This one right here would make what shape?
A rectangle.
Well, we got 3 rectangles and we got what?
2 triangles.
2 triangles. So if it's got 2 triangles, is it going to be a pyramid or is it going to be a prism?
Prism.
It's going to be a prism because it's got 2 bases, 2 triangular bases. So it's a triangular prism, okay? Because it's got 2 bases. This one It's still a prism because it's got the two edges here, but it's not going to be triangular. It's going to be what? What shape is this?
A square.
A square. So it's going to be a square prism. This one was triangular prism. This one's square prism. So you use that for number 2. Now something else that you had on number 2 is it is wanting you to find your lateral area, your surface area, and your volume. So your lateral area, your surface area, and your volume are similar to the work that we did on number 17. We found the lateral area by taking the perimeter of the triangle times the height. Then we add the surface, and then the surface area takes that answer plus 2 times the area of the triangle base. And then for volume, we took the area of the triangle base times the height. So number 2 is like 16 and 17 from the review that we did today. Okay. Number 3, if you have your quiz, what shape's on there? Did a rectangular prism or a cylinder? Yeah. I don't remember which order I had them in.
It's a rectangular prism.
Rectangular prism. So the rectangular prism is more like what we did on number 9 on the review today. You have your lateral area, which is the perimeter of the base times the height. And then you have that answer plus 2 times the area of the base is your surface area. And then volume is the length times width times height. So it's like number 9. Then I think the next problem that you had is the cylinder. And the one that you have that's a cylinder is like what we had on here. They give you the diameter and you have to know the radius for your formula. So it's like number 10. You take your diameter and you had to divide it in half to get your radius. And then it's like the work that we did on number 10. Okay. Then you have a cone. The cone we did was like number 18 and 19. And then the last problem that you had was a pyramid, I believe. For the pyramid, make sure you look at your pyramid that you have on your quiz. The pyramid that you have on your quiz does not have a square base like all of them we did yesterday. The pyramid that you have on your quiz has a rectangle base. Okay, so for your lateral area, for a pyramid, it's 1/2 times the perimeter of the base. So if it's a rectangle, it's 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And then that's multiplied by the height of the pyramid. No, not the height. The slant height. Slant height, remember, is the one that leans. The one that's going up the side, slant height. Okay, I'm giving you your formulas that you need for that last problem. Then for my surface area, I take that lateral area answer plus the area of the rectangle on the bottom, which is length times width. And then my volume is 1/3 times the length and width on the bottom times the height. So those are your formulas for your last problem on the quiz. So this is for number 1. This is for number 6, and then I told you what the other ones were like on there. So if you paid any attention to my email at all, for those of you that actually logged into My Schoolworks and read it, it said that you have until like tomorrow afternoon to get your answers to me. Okay?
Yep, Thursday.
So you work on it, do the best that you can, and then that way if you have a question, you need to ask me in our Zoom meeting tomorrow, and then you'll still have time to get it turned in. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
This is number 1. This is number 6. Pedro, I don't know what to tell you because you were only here like 5 minutes, so hopefully you can get some of it written down before you're gone. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Don't forget about your quiz.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
I'm pretty smart, miss.
Huh?
I'm so smart.
You're so smart.
Yeah.
Why are you smart?
Yeah, I know.